Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's your boy Marvin. We're going to get straight into a video. Slater Ravine hasn't been searched properly and team could still be there, says Brit expert. Let's get straight into the video.
Slater has been missing for almost a month now, but the official search was called off nearly 2 weeks ago. Experts fear the hunt was axed too soon, as Jay could still be in the ravine, which is notorious for its unforgiving landscape. Apprentice bricklayer Jay was last seen walking uphill in the village of Masca in Tenerife on June 17th. He went back to an Airbnb with two men after a night of partying before attempting the 11-hour trek back to his own accommodation. 19-year-old Jay made a final call to friend Lucy Law to say he was lost. His phone pinged just a short distance to my right before it lost charge. Jay has not been heard from or seen since. Spanish cops ditched the official search almost 2 weeks ago, with former Army reservist Chris Pennington telling The Sun that was too soon. He said the ravine has not been searched properly and that Jay could still be in there. Chris is among a group of volunteers still searching for Jay alongside his family. He described the hunt as like looking for a needle in a haystack, as the ravine is so vast and rocky. But The Sun understands from Friday the local council is restricting access to the ravine and only allowing hikers in. They will be charged €28 each and will have to pre-book. It is unclear what this will mean for those still searching for Jay.
One thing I'd say, it looks like a massive, vast area. And to find someone, if he had fallen, how far would he have fallen? Because some of that ravine looks really steep. And if, this Chris says he's an expert as well, he must know that it's going to be difficult to find a body in there. The Spanish police, I don't think they've done enough, to be honest with you, and should have got extra British police in there to actually help out. It doesn't make sense in that there should be a lot more assistance for the Spanish police, who, it seems like to me, so many people go missing in that area for different reasons. It actually thinks like, we've put enough man hours into it, let's move on to another case. It's though they're basically saying he's a goner, where basically I think the British police would never give up and would put many man hours into finding someone. This is what I think anyway. Everyone's got their own views, but it sounded like to me that enough's not being done. And like I said, this Chris is an expert basically in looking for people or tracking, Spanish police are now set to pursue at least 3 bombshell leads after a source in Tenerife told The Sun the case is very much open. All scenarios being kept in mind. Cops say on Tuesday there are still several lines of inquiry active in the hunt to find him. So it looks like there's other avenues that the police are actually looking into.
But there's civilization, and it's a tourist national park. Somebody must have seen something. Somebody knows where he is. Somebody may be keeping him against his will. I don't know. There's all sorts going on in my head. Honestly, it's just awful. I don't wish this on anybody. I want my baby back. We just need to find my baby.
Anyone who thinks that his mum's involved or his dad's involved, that's just total balls. It really is at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? She looks though she hasn't had any sleep for ages because her son's still missing, and his father have turned around and said that he doesn't think that the Spanish police are not doing enough about it, and that other people or special forces should be called in to be looking for him. And I think this should have happened a long time ago. So these are some of the scenarios and dates. Jay stays at Airbnb with two new pals in Masca. Jay's phone pings for the final time at 8:50 a.m. June the 17th. June the 19th, search moves south, but this turns out to be a false lead. June the 21st, cops use drones, helicopters and dogs to scour the Masca ravine. Okay, they have tried, but I just think it was probably near where the phone was last ditched. But like I said, they where the signal came from the phone. June the 24th, family release CCTV of a figure in San Diego Deltade. Was that him? I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Look, let me tell you something. We've had missing incidents, Madeleine McCann, where she was seen all over the world, even up to 2024. And that was in 2007. She was never found. Yeah, the majority of people, we know that she's dead, or know of it, even though her body wasn't found. Why would Jay not contact his mum or dad or his brother at least to tell him that he's safe? At the end of the day, the longer this goes, I keep saying it, the longer this goes on, the more suspicious, and he is unlikely to be alive, which is very, very sad for the family. But they must find a body, or him if he's still alive. But I can't see it. We're now July the 12th. We're like 5 days off from a month, and a month is a long time not to find someone. June the 25th, cops rescue another Brit, but he says he didn't need saving. June the 27th, searches focuses on narrow caves north of Jay's Airbnb. June the 29th, police launch a final massive search. Only 6 people show. It's unbelievable, isn't it, at the end of the day? And when the Spanish police were asked by British police for assistance, basically, we can come out and help, Spanish police turned it down. Tenerife cop officially calls the search off for Jay, June the 30th. And it just seems like Jay's dad and independent people or YouTubers who were helping out. What a disgrace. It is disgraceful, to be honest with you. They seem to think he's in the ravine. Look at all the cases. And what happened? There's only really 2 scenarios. He's probably fallen in that ravine somewhere, or he's been taken away and kidnapped and killed, or thrown into the sea. These are the only scenarios I can actually say. I've really, really looked into and studied the case. To be honest, a couple of days ago, I didn't really know too much about it. But listening to so many videos and insights and newspapers and reports, they're the only 2 scenarios left. But I really do hope they find him for the family's sake. Why the hell didn't they bring in...
Whilst there are massive frustrations, I'm sure, for the family and those who loved Jay, I think there are some small crumbs of comfort that can be taken from the statement that the Guardia Civil gave to the Sun yesterday. In that statement, they said that there are other lines of inquiry that they are pursuing. Now, anybody who's followed this case as keenly as I have for the last few weeks will, of course, realise that there must be other threads to this investigation. So many names have been put forward, so many question marks over some of the characters involved in this baffling mystery. But the big frustration is we do not know what those lines of inquiry are that the Spanish police are following. And in that regard, I guess many of the frustrations are still there for the family.
That's the end of that video. I would say that the family should keep looking as best they can, and hopefully they may find him, or sadly, find a body. At least they can put this to rest. But a lot of people have recently, especially over the last 40 hours, think that he could be in the ravine, where there's a possibility. And it's very, very vast, which makes it very, very difficult and rocky, and lots of, like cactuses and bushes around. And the heat must be very, very hot for the people. And it must be very stressful for the people who are looking as well. But fair play for the YouTubers, all the helpers who've actually gone out there and are searching. But it doesn't look like there's a lot of people who are actually searching for him. The Spanish police, seem to exhausted their part in it, and they're probably used to people going missing in that area, but and they don't see it as a murder investigation, or basically it's a missing person, and that basically he may not want to be found, which I just can't believe it, with the state his mum in, the state his dad's in, the state his brother's in. At the end of the day, I think if he could talk to them, he would on the phone. People think that basically it's a setup, it may have something to do with the parents. I don't think so. I really don't. He's, the scenario of him being kidnapped and killed, that theory is still out there at the end of the day. But if I were going to put a hunch on it, I would certainly say that he may be in that ravine somewhere. But the family need a lot of help and people to actually chip in and see whether they can find Jay Slater. Do subscribe to Streamlight Entertainment, and thank you for listening, and thank you for all the new subscribers and the old subscribers who supported me since day one. I appreciate you. Thank you.